All right, we're back and running. We're up to, I'm gonna back up one. We just recovered our internet capabilities here in the department. Thank you to, Novus for coming in after hours and giving us some instruction and doing some things online. But it now appears we're back online. Is that you, Bob, online, or is that Christine? Or Melissa? Can you hear us?
Yep.
Do we have-
Yep,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Looking good.
Thank you very much. Like I said, we're down to present to speak. Do either one of you have something to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, I think we're good. We're down to correspondence. Like I said before, we had a resident of the town that had a concern that another resident of the town had filed an FOI request. I'm not sure what the relationship of the guy who complained and the woman who filed the request was, but we have received that correspondence. Where was the other correspondence? This is Airhawk, that's not correspondence.
That's everything you handed me for correspondence.
I had to. I guess not. This is bid stuff. Okay. Correspondence done. Tax refunds. We have 5, I believe, although there's 3 listed there. And I only have 4 here.
This should be fine. Unless one got taken out.
I guess one got removed. So we will go with what we got. I'd like to move that we refund for excessive payments, the amount of $15.17 to Paul P. and Barbara R. Hipsky of 395 Moose Meadow Road. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I was having trouble doing 2 things at once. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $531.02 to Hyundai Lease Titling Trust of Irvine, California. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Second part of the sentence, I'm having trouble remembering. Supposed to date these. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $17.06 to Timothy Wazalewski. Thank you.
I
For the
second.
assist.
I second.
All right, do I hear any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Do you know Mr. Wazalewski?
I knew that the family is
Okay.
fine willing to them.
I was just looking at that going, I'm gonna butcher this. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $319.41 to Jackson Wazalewski.
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes to Shannon for filing with the tax collector.
Fantastic.
Public Works report. Heather wasn't down there, so our Public Works report's a little shorter. They patched poles. They've done a lot of roadside mowing, particularly, down here on Old Farms Road. You can now actually see around some of the corners. It makes it much better. Have you seen?
No, the stuff has been growing up so
Yeah,
fast.
So fast, yeah. I trimmed sight lines, they picked up trash at the park. They fixed the entranceway at the senior center, and I have to say this, that we had a bid of $2,500 to fix it, and after some discussion with an expert from our town, Public Works did it for $200.
Great.
Oh, that was great. They spread wood chips at the Hall School playground. They mowed the transfer station field, they washed, and they did some hung some stuff up in the human services office for them.
They recently cleaned out the swap shed, of all the stuff. The last time I went there, it was all cleaned out and stuff, and I'm like, thinking to myself, oh, gotta fill that thing up again.
Yep,
Sure, it'll only be a month or two.
I've got stuff for them.
Can it be removable?
I just found a 1940s adding machine, the kind you whack, whack.
Classics.
9 times as fast, and 1/100th as heavy for your phone. Somebody probably wants it. First selectman status report. I hope everybody had a good Labor Day. I know I did. There's just as a reminder, tomorrow night, we have a town meeting regarding a couple of spending items and, a number of minor changes to the, ordinances of the town at the request of the state, one at the request of me. What else is going on?
That's at 7 PM, right?
7 PM tomorrow night, Old Town Hall. Or the Town Hall, if we're being corrected. So I believe that's all I have for my status report. New business, proposed code adoption ordinance. Mike D'Amato, if you'd like to explain this.
So one of the projects that was approved from ARPA was the codification of all the town's regulatory language that includes zoning regulations, subdivision regulations, inland wetland regulations, aquifer protection regulations, forest practices regulations, and all the town ordinances. So we work with the company that does that general code. They are a subset of the ICC, which develops all the code books for the building code, the fire code, all those documents, all those books, International Code Council. So they reviewed all of our ordinances and regulatory documents, and over the last year, we've been going through all their suggested edits, and have sort of, with each code, come up with a set of planned amendments that need to be made to fix incorrect references, incorrect terms, references to ordinances that don't exist, and essentially bring everything up to speed. This was not a process where we said, oh, let's start allowing these things in this part of town, let's increase these fees. It was not a sort of a regulatory change. But for example, we have ordinances that still say we're part of WinCog, which has been gone for 20 years. We reference driveway ordinance, which doesn't exist, an entertainment ordinance, which doesn't exist. So they compared all of our documents and said, you need to fix this because this isn't here, this name has been changed, this is incorrect. So now we are in a place where all of those codes have all those planned amendments before those the individual boards. So planning and zoning will be considering the amendments to zoning regs and subdivision regs, and then wetlands will be considering amendments to wetlands regulations. And this document in front of you reflects the ordinance changes. So this will do a couple of things. One, it will repeal all the bad, incorrect, and out-of-date ordinance language that you have. And then we'll set, going forward, this new adoption of the completely recodified ordinances, which have been reorganized and numbered consistently, so that everything will be sort of correct in the same format, and we'll have effective dates so that we know what the versions they are, and et cetera. So if you go through the document that's in front of you, which provided to us from general code, it talks about the actual adoption, and then if you go further down, it will talk about like the repealer, where you have the ordinances that we're eliminating. So 1-5 talks about those three. The elimination of the declaration of property ordinance from 1978, the ordinance regarding the town's participation in the Wyndham Region Council of Governments, again, no longer exists. And another ordinance related to whatever.
Disposal of waste oil and gas exploration or extraction activities.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is now covered in something that is already in place, so some of this stuff may be in the zoning regulations, et cetera. And this was all reviewed, all the ordinance was reviewed by the town clerk. So they provided all their recommendations to her, and she said, okay, this section, we're gonna need to repeal, this section we wanna keep. So they are not saying, we just wanna do this based upon us having never been to the town of Willington. These are all the changes that are reflective of staff having gone through and provided them with that. And in the case, as Andy can attest to, in the case of P and Z, all those changes went to P and Z, and we went line by line and said, okay, we wanna do this for this, this for that. And you'll see further in there some of those text changes to how we're gonna refer to certain terms going forward, again, for consistency. So each individual agency will have to go through and adopt them on their own. You're simply creating the foundation and framework through the adoption of this ordinance. And then P and Z and inland wetlands will have to do their thing, and as they normally would, there will be public hearings on all of that.
We've started some of that work.
Yep.
That's what we've been doing.
So we will be having a public hearing later in September to actually consider the amendments.
And this is just the ordinance side of that same conversation.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So this is the ordinance that allows us to change ordinances, but we're still gonna have to follow the ordinance change.
This is the ordinance that says, hey, we went through and fixed and refreshed all of our town
Mhm.
codes. And going forward, this is how we'll be organized. This is what we've changed within those ordinances.
Okay,
And then they're gonna do the same thing with the regs, inland wetlands will do the same thing with their regs. And have the same sort of language and go through the same hearing.
all right,
So be also digital, like to be able to.
Yes. And we will have also, they will provide us, I can't remember how many, but they will provide us with actual hard copy official code books. And every time we make an amendment, they will provide us with like a true and attested copy, and it will say, pull out pages 18 to 25, insert here, the new dates. So we will have like a tracked version, which becomes very useful, you know, in trying to figure out what became effective and what happened, and so they have,
Oh,
I don't know,
you
probably
do that
6
with
to 10.
yeah, right, yeah, sure, she's good.
It's the same, it's the same process,
Out, put the new sheets back in. and
right, yeah,
Every
just
legislative.
page and change way left blank.
Exactly, right.
So, just, I read this over, looked fine to me, but, so the stimulus for this was outreach by the state of Connecticut, or did we reach out to them?
so the previous town clerk, Robin Campbell, and I. Had talked about this, and we put it forward for consideration to ARPA.
Okay.
So sometimes, it can be paid for out of, grants that are eligible, but this was a internally initiated. Because we kept finding discrepancies between different language within the town,
Was that limited to inland wetlands and planning and zoning, or all?
everything,
Great, that was what I was getting at, just cover it.
they looked at it
So
all,
this is what we found, and this is the correcting action.
right? We kept particularly running into issues where it would say driveways have to be done based upon the driveway ordinance adopted by the Board of Selectmen. There is no such ordinance.
Yeah, I got it, I understand.
And so they looked for those inconsistencies across all of our regulatory documents.
So what is our
I
action?
do this before without computers.
You have to, would have to schedule the town meeting to adopt. the
Yeah,
ordinance.
Okay.
So I put this on the agenda so that we could discuss it today,
Okay.
and then we will, write a, call, town meeting call. And call the town meeting at the in 2 weeks from now, probably for the 30th of September.
Do we want to include all of the code changes for all the other agencies, or is that a bust?
I would say no, only because we've already advertised the P and Z stuff already, and in all the sections, and we have that legal notice.
Alright, so right, P and Z will have their own public hearing,
Yes,
and the wetlands will probably have their public hearing, and
Right.
then it will go to town meeting after that.
the town meeting sort of is the enabling piece. And
So-
you guys set the ordinance, because all the ordinances you guys have to do.
Yeah, and I believe ordinances, we may have to go to town meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, so it'll
Yeah.
be to adopt this new structure and those, the refresh sort of fixed.
Yeah,
I can give you
The ordinances.
the full report. Nicole has it too, if you wanna see all their comments and what our answers to that were, if you want that.
Townspeople might wanna see that, so
Yeah,
they like that.
so I don't know if you have it, or like I said, I can send it to you, Nicole has it. In the wetlands regs have to go to DEP and have to be approved by the commissioner before they can be adopted locally. That takes time,
Sure.
but your piece is just the ordinances, but we can get you the red line. Okay,
Very good.
We will, bring it up at the next meeting
Yeah.
to, as a call.
Yep,
I
okay,
think it's a good idea.
absolutely.
Good to be proactive.
Yes, also, I've run into other regulatory agencies where this hasn't been done. And it lends to some confusion.
And that means that we're on the hook for confusion we caused and then we're liable for. what
Yes.
we do. So,
Yes.
Very good.
All right. Next up is we brought this up last meeting, and it's part of the minutes. Oh, no, that's next. I'm sorry. Now we're gonna hear about exhaust systems from Alex.
Thank you. So I sent over, there's 2 quotes. We're not, because of what we need to do for the building, we're not even gonna third. We did not find a company that wanted to do the third. Quote. Because of the way that the exhaust system needs to be designed for the station at 143 River Road. Typical exhaust systems for our apparatus would hook to the exhaust. Because of the way the poles are in that building, we can't do it. But
It would physically hook up to the exhaust?
yeah, so at the main, at 426 River Road,
Mhm.
it has a system that the exhaust actually hooks, or we have pipes that come down, and hook to the
Oh, I
truck.
think I've seen those.
And it runs out with the truck as the truck's driving out, so there's no exhaust that gets into the building.
Huh.
Because of the way that the station's designed down there, there's no way to do that. It's too narrow, there's poles in the way. This is one of the recommendations from OSHA, from when we had the OSHA report done, that we needed to do something.
Yep.
So, in front of you have 2 quotes, one from Air Dead, which is actually the company that makes the exhaust system that we've already have at the other station. This is just a different version, and one from Airvac. We're recommending, or requesting that we go with the Air Dead, which is the $18,315 option. And the other quote was for $27,199. The only thing that's not on this is the electrical that we're told is gonna be about $3,500. Cause and they gave us a price high because they don't know if they're gonna have to put another sub panel in. We did, budget for 35,000. And that sits in your budget.
Mm-hmm.
And we would like to do, at the bottom, the optional is the CO detection That if the system recognizes CO in the building, it automatically turns on. To pull it up.
Did you compare these two quotes to did you do a request for proposal?
Yes, they did. And it,
Yeah, no, but did you do it?
I did not myself, no,
Who did it?
our deputy chief Trevor.
Okay, and so
That's
you
what-
compared these against that.
Yep, so it's based off of the size of the building, so they're both quoted. One has two systems or two hangars, one has three, so air vac is actually three different things, but they're pulling the same CFMs.
And which one is the one we've used before?
Air Dep Comfort Corp, which is Magnet Grip,
Which is the Air Hawk people.
yep, Air Hawk proposal.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, I'm sometimes not pertaining to this specifically. But I've noticed that when we ask for bids on things, a lot of times we get huge. I mean,
Discrepancies, and
it's like
there are.
Third.
There are some discrepancies on from the RFP, and it's just because of the language of what was in the RFP.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and I trust that you checked it back and forth, it's just,
But that's like when we did the cleaning contract for this
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
And one was like 35 times high as the winning bid.
Some people bid because they have to, but they don't really want the job, or if they do, they want it for that price. They're willing to do it for that price,
So
otherwise.
the air vac does have a third, it is higher, it calls for a third unit,
Yeah,
but they're pulling the same CFMs.
okay.
This does not directly hook up to.
It does not, so the trucks, the trucks will run in the building, as soon as the photo eye sees the door opening. It turns on. So as soon as the bay door opens, this system turns on.
And you turn on the trucks after the door starts open.
As soon as this, yeah, once the doors start opening, you turn the trucks on. Like one of them, you have to open the door to get to it, so. Yeah. Um, And then if it notices, so even if they were to say somebody started the truck in the bay. That's why we want the CO meter, was if somebody starts a truck and the bay door's closed.
For whatever
it's gonna-
reason,
for
yeah,
whatever reason,
yeah,
it's gonna turn.
that makes sense to me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're gonna need to plan ahead for maintenance, plan maintenance for these.
It'll
units
go
as
in the
well.
budget, yeah.
That'll be in the budget.
Yes, sir. Yeah, cause and the other reason for the Air Dead or the Air Hawk versus the other one is the other one I think had a 5-year warranty, this has a lifetime warranty. And it's just a good deal. The only thing that we do have to pay for is filters. You need a. every 12 to 24 months, you gotta change the filters out. The good people living there probably would see that.
Yep. They shed skin, cause dust.
So one of the things there, so we did check with Donna as to the correct procedure. She said that because this is already in your budget, it's already an approved line item within your budget, it just had to come to you guys to approve. It does not have to follow that.
Yeah, that's good. Any, do you have to confer or somehow collaborate with OSHA? Or this meets all standards?
This means the OSHA standards.
Okay. And how do you, I'm not challenging you, but how do you learn that it meets OSHA standards?
It's on here.
Is it the RFP or it's on the sheet itself?
It's on- it was,
I'm not, I trust you, I'm not.
So
Sure, how do you
OSHA,
find that out?
OSHA just said that we have to be able to get the exhaust out. They didn't
Okay,
give
so
us
they
a-
didn't care, they didn't tell you how,
No,
but this would meet,
Yes.
this would meet all of those.
yes,
criteria.
they said that this would be,
Okay,
because we did send this to the
Oh,
OSHA investigator we
okay.
had.
okay, good.
She had seen this, just to make sure that they were okay. with
Yeah,
it.
good, so
What
that's
we're
how you
doing.
know. Perfect. Thanks for explaining.
Okay, any further questions?
Not for me.
I don't either. I'm not exactly sure how to word this motion, but I would like to move that we, after going out the bid, that we accept the bid of Air Dev Corporation Air Hawk proposal for 143 River Road Station
With the penny amount.
in the amount of $18,315. And then adding in the $1,800 CO monitors, so in case the door doesn't go up, we don't who's our firefighter,
And associated electrical installation.
and associated electrical installation. Perfect.
Not to, so 23,615 is the total, is the highest.
All right, for no more than $23,700.
A second.
Any further discussion?
We got that, I wanna make sure we got that motion correct, so that matches,
Yes, sir.
yeah, no other question.
All right. Yeah, I was listening because I was worried about that myself.
That's why I had it added up to make sure I had the right price.
Okay. Moving on.
So it was, go,
Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry,
That's okay.
thank you. I got ahead of myself.
Okay.
I hope you make some of your meeting.
I'm hoping,
You got good news?
All you have to do is swing in at the end, give the chief's report, and you're good.
that's it, yeah.
Well, that's good to get that straightened out.
All business, tax stabilization plan, and I will let you speak to that. We spoke to it last week to make sure that the town knew what it was. It's in in the minutes of the last meeting. There's,
Agenda for this week, I believe.
yes. Oh, it's in the agenda for this
Yeah, it's
week?
in the agenda.
All right,
Mhm.
What
There we
about
go.
this, the feedback that was causing concern from people that were concerned about it? Were the 5% or the 3% and the 10%? And in particular, how those relate to the last,
wait, I think we're on something different.
we're tax stabilization.
Oh, yeah, this is tax stabilization. We're
I'm
talking
sorry.
debt management,
Oh,
two different things.
you're right. Well, why am I, okay, sorry.
Debt man, this is something that's gonna have to go, this is an ordinance that has to go to the
Oh,
town.
gotcha, all right, so I'm holding the debt management policy, not the tax stabilization.
Stabilization, I just gave you the tax stabilization
Now
right
I'm
here.
tracking, sorry.
That's okay. I have, whew, you know how many times I've made that very mistake?
Tax stabilization, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, this is, I don't know, the fourth or fifth time we've talked about this,
We started talking about it when the battery
Yep.
Yeah,
stuff that happened
Yep.
when last year, that's when
Yeah.
we started talking about it.
Yeah, and so the goal here is to, and this is I think this is the recommendation of the Economic Development Commission. We voted on it in that group. Well, first I'll say what it is not. This is not a giveaway. It's not a subsidy. It's not an
not
abatement.
deferment,
It's
it's
not
not bait.
deferment, not abatement, none of that. So basically what this does is, it allows for stable taxes over time. When a company or a corporation that makes large investments, in terms of depreciating assets, and batteries are those. Because they get less and less useful over time.
And,
Okay.
and, solar panels, which we are also gonna be,
Yes.
dealing with here.
Right, so in all, what this does is three things, I'll try and remember the third one, but the first one it does is it assures Wellington of the same amount of tax revenue for that project or that taxpayer. Commercial taxpayer over time for the length of the agreement. The second thing it does is it gives the business in town. The assurance that their tax, percentage isn't going to change over time. So they can make that investment and put that money, that into their business plan. It helps them line up financing. The third thing it does is it removes, we're not gonna get into a problem with what we assess this for. I mean, they're agreeing and we're agreeing on what it starts out at and what it is every year. So we're not gonna get the situation where, well, it's not worth that because we had a problem with our blah, blah, blah. Well, no, we don't really care what your problem with your system was. This is the controlling document, is the agreement.
I think it'll help us avoid a lot of
Yeah.
litigation.
And the last thing is that removes the state of Connecticut from decision making. So if the state of Connecticut now passes a law after this is put in place, that says you're not allowed to tax, these entities in this way. We have the control of documents that, yeah, but we did this before you passed that.
Correct,
Right, so those are the primary things. Now, this is the actual, as Mike was saying, using similar terminology, this is the enabling part. So all this would go to the Board of Selectmen, who would have to approve these
Correct.
each time, and in certain cases, the Board of Finance as well. It's written in the statutes which ones are which. So for part one, which is, this is the one about energy and the batteries and things like that, that's on page 1. That is, terms of tax stabilization, agreement are approved by the town's legislative body. That's what the law says. That's what's written in here. Then the next one is, part 2, the terms of tax stabilization agreement are approved by the town's board of selectmen. That one is for, let's see, hold on just a minute. For the town stabilization agreement. Stabilization agreement shall mean written agreement that fixes the amount of either annual assessments or annual taxes for such property and all eligible improvements therefore. So and then for purposes of part 2, improvements to be constructed to include rehabilitation of existing structures for retail business use. And the last one had to do with, and this one will be approved by the Board of Finance. And this one has to do with agriculture, I believe. And then there's some more stipulations in here in part 4, which is how you, the review criteria. And part 5 is determination, and part 6 is discretion. And administration. So, again, the overall takeaway or the overall purpose here is, protect the town of Wilmington, protects the taxpayer. Stable, tax flow to the town and from the business, and precluding us from future liability or challenges to, the agreement once it's in place.
Well, you did touch on that about investors and talking with some people that I know that do these with much larger companies.
Yeah,
Tax stabilization is often a prerequisite of lenders, and the businesses that we are going to see in Wellington come, they're not organic businesses that grow larger. These are outside investors coming in with venture capitalists or large banks or lending institutions saying, we're gonna loan you 10 million or 20 or 50 million.
right.
We want to know what our tax liability is over 10 years. If it's gonna be up and down and depending on
Right.
different votes, and then we don't want any of that. We'd rather not touch this project.
Yeah.
I think it would encourage business investors if we have the ability to do this. Again, we're not required to. It even says there is no obligation that we must do it.
Yeah.
It is an option, a sort of a business option, I think, and it seems like the right thing to do to me. From my point of view.
Yeah, so, lawyers looked at it several times. I've mentioned it several times that I kicked it back to them, they
Yeah.
kicked it back to me. So I actually have a call into them, just want to make sure that there's nothing at the end that'll change, but,
And everything can be amended if we have to.
yeah. There it is.
So what is our action item?
The action item on this is we've already approved this to send it to town meeting.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send this document and the document we talked to with Mike to
Excellent.
the same town meeting.
Ah,
Town meetings
because
cost
this
a
will be
lot
an
of
ordinance.
money. And
This will be an ordinance. It
yes,
makes perfect
this will be an
sense.
ordinance and the other one will be an ordinance, so we can
Okay.
fix it all at once.
This will be attached to the minutes, and the citizens can take a look at it.
It's already attached to the agenda.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll do it again for the minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
All right. We talked about it, so it needs to be all experience. Good and welfare. You have anything?
Yeah, be careful out there, be healthy, we're now end of the holiday season or the holiday that we just had. Luckily, I don't think we had anything earth shattering happened in Wellington, which is really good.
School's in session now, you have the buses back on the road.
Yeah, be very careful of the buses. The only thing that I have to add is that we had another untimely death due to mental health issues.
Oh, no.
And so I please people, if you think you need help, please get the help you think you need.
Yeah.
It's much easier to. You're leaving people behind. You're not solving the problem. It's a temporary solution to a permanent problem. Or permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Right, that's better.
Yeah, that's
Amended.
So let's watch out for our neighbors.
Mhm.
Practice kindness.
Call the town hall, we can find you, help.
Yep.
We may not be able to help you ourselves, but we can help you find it, so,
No, there's a national mental health line too.
yes. Is it 211?
I think it is 2-1.
211 Connecticut, yeah.
I think
There's a
it's
few
nationwide
numbers.
now.
I'll put them in the minutes.
All right,
There are some numbers that
Great.
we can reach out to.
all right. That brings us back to present to speak, seeing as how no one's in the room. Is there anybody online? Seeing no one online? Do I hear a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Calling for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You, gentlemen.
Good job of handling a difficult situation with the internet being down.
Yes.
I'm glad you put that thing on the agenda.